Hey everyone, welcome to Empower Team Monday Night Call. I am Natalie Dolan, Sapphire Brand Ambassador. And tonight, I'm so excited to share with you guys attracting what we called this call. And we decided to do a two-part call just on this subject because it is such an important topic and it creates a lot of stability in your business. So on attracting and creating business builders. I know that that's something that we get questions on a lot, or people struggle in this area. And I've done a ton of analyzing in this area about what works, what is the key to really creating and attracting business builders. And so we're kind of breaking it up into two parts. I'm going to be covering more attracting business builders today. And then next week, Tova is going to talk about converting customers, converting customers into business builders or sharers, and really more of the development process. So this is such an important topic that we were like, let's just give it 2 weeks because we really, really, really want to equip you guys. Like I said, to build a steady team. When you look at your team and you look at how stable is my team, look at how a lot of it starts with how we talk about Plexus. You can evaluate yourself and you can look and you can see, am I mainly talking about the products? Do I rarely talk about the business? Am I creating a team of product users, or am I creating a more stable team of business builders? So you really need to be focusing on business builder development too, because like I said, it creates stability and it creates greater long-term impact. We all love the products, right? We wouldn't be here if we didn't really believe in the products. We haven't had great results. And it is a responsibility that we have to share that with people. But don't take away from the business aspect, because the more business builders you can develop, create, and attract, the greater health impact that you're going to have in people's lives beyond your spectrum. This is the difference between just adding and multiplying. And so your impact is greater when you multiply via developing a team of sharers and business builders. Okay. So number one, talk about the business at least 50% of the time. For me, I try to talk about the business more than I talk about the products, because the products have changed my life, but the business has changed my life even more. And I can make even more healthier choices. Because of Plexus, I've been able to buy all organic groceries. I was on WIC before Plexus. Now I can eat organic, I can shop organic, I can buy all the supplements that I want. I'm not limited to just the triplex like I was before. That has changed my life and expanded my health even. So go back to your page and your feed and do just a little audit. Just really, you have to evaluate and see how much am I really talking about the business. What I will say is that you can't influence where you're not fully persuaded. So if people aren't wanting to do the business with you, don't sit back and fall back into a victim mindset and say, this isn't working for me, or it works for other people, but not me. What you really need to do is you need to sit back and you need to think, am I fully bought into what I'm doing? Am I fully persuaded in what I'm doing? Because if not, then you need to stop right there, just put a pin in all this, and you need to go and develop your belief like your business depends on it, because it does. That's step number one. So nobody's going to join you unless you are all in. Like people, most of the time, people are not going to join you unless you're all in. It can be felt by people. People can feel, oh, this girl is serious. This girl is going somewhere with this. I feel secure to join them. I feel like if I join them, they're not going to go anywhere. Okay. So that's number one. Okay. So now I'm going to go into the top tips. All right. Okay. So first of all, develop trust with your sphere of influence. That's number one. You have to, in order to attract business builders, you have to develop trust with them. Okay. So how do you develop trust with people? First of all, you have to show up consistently. Mostly the number one best way to develop trust with people, because people aren't going to join you unless they trust you, period. If you show up inconsistently, if you're in and out, if people don't really know who you are, if you only show like the highlight reel, or like people need to see your face. And I think the best way to do that, from my years of doing this, talking to successful people, my own personal experience, it's showing your face in your stories. Think about it. When you're going through stories, Facebook or Instagram, and you see someone and they become a daily part of your life, and you're at your house and you're having your coffee and you're looking at your phone, you get to have coffee with people every single day. You get to have coffee or whatever. You get to do life with people, like a whole bunch of them at once. And so that's just sharing your life with them. People hearing, when people can just hear you talk, they can they build a connection with you just by hearing you talk, just by seeing the way you interact. So that's number one. Number two is in person. Okay, so you develop trust with people in stories, in person, and in posts. I think we forget a lot about the in-person part. I think that, sometimes we can get in the habit of join Facebook groups and do this and do that, but don't underestimate in meeting with people in person. I think, we've definitely over the past, few years, we've gotten into the groove of showing up virtually, or not showing up to the gym anymore, not going to places in person, like working out at home, but try to actually go to that kid's birthday party. Actually, if you get an invitation somewhere, go to it. Go to the work functions, go to your spouse's work functions, connect with people in real life, and then convert them over to social media. Everywhere I go, I make it a point to connect with someone, and I ask them lots of questions, and I hear their stories, and I, take an interest in them just because I care about people. But I 9 times out of 10 end up connecting with them. I just went to a Christmas party this weekend and met somebody new. We're connected on Instagram now, and we started following each other. Now we're in conversation, and maybe this relationship will go somewhere, maybe it won't, I don't know, but that is what you have to be doing. You have to develop trust in person, and then when they're seeing you on social media and all of that, they have something to go off of, like, oh, I had a good conversation with her one time, or one time she really listened to me and asked a lot of questions about me, and that was abnormal. Most people want to tell you about them, and they don't have people just want to know, like asking them questions and listening to them. And I was when I was talking to this girl, I was like, what do you do? Wow, do you love it? Like, that's really interesting, whatever. And just from a genuine place, but that's rare. So, okay. So in developing trust over social media, here's a really, really big thing to remember. People do not want to see perfection anymore. People do not, all of the perfectly curated posts, perfectly curated stories, only showing up when you look perfect. it comes across as fake, and people do not want it. It actually breaks trust when people see that and they're like, oh, this is kind of fake, or why is this only a perfectly curated feed? It's not relatable. And people are like, what are they hiding, or why are they showing up? They start asking themselves questions like that, instead of the people who show up and are just like, wow, she's just really authentic, she's just really real, that builds trust. So skip over editing your pictures, skip all the filters, skip showing only the highlight reel, and be relatable, show up sometime. I mean, the other day I was doing some Instagram stories in my hair turban after a shower, sharing a funny story, like getting face to face with people, right? Even on stories, a lot of people told me about how that was like such a funny story and that was so relatable, and that just whatever. And it's because I didn't show up perfectly curated for the day and perfectly planned out. I was just off the cusp sharing who I really am, and people connect to that. Okay. Okay, like I said, show your face in your stories. You don't have to have a super interesting life. You don't have to live on the beach. You don't have to be, have crazy skills and really interesting stuff. Share your values. This is what's going to connect with people the most. Do we value the same things? Do you value enjoying your life? Do you value your family? Do you value growth? Do you value whatever? Share those things with people. Okay. Be vulnerable to develop trust. When you're not vulnerable, again, people think that you're hiding stuff about you, that you have something that you don't want people to see. And so that looks like sharing struggles not in a complaining way, but in just hey, I just want to share this with you guys. And here's something I'm working through right now. And I've been really challenged, but I know here's what I'm learning so far. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm getting there. Okay. Being vulnerable, in that way. Show what you're currently working on, what you're currently growing through, I've shared in the past, I've shared about me working on forgiveness. I've shared about me working through trauma. I've shared about not being disciplined, not being organized, and how I'm overcoming that, how I'm working through that. I still haven't arrived in all of these areas. I'm not like perfected now. I'm still working on a lot of those things. And that is what's relatable to people. Other people are working through their things too. They don't want to it's hard to be connected to somebody who has it all figured out, who's perfect now. Yes. So like I said, share your life with people. Just share what you're currently up to. Share an interesting story that happened today. Today I was at the grocery store and somebody said this to me and I thought that was so funny. It should be like FaceTiming your mom. Like you ever FaceTime your mom or FaceTime your best friend and you just talk. It should talk to your stories just like that. Like, girl, you know what happened today? And you just talk to them super naturally and people will be drawn in. Okay. So that is the most important thing to develop trust, and showing up consistently does develop trust. Okay. You can't be in and out all the time. Otherwise it does break trust. So, number 2, know your ideal business builder. Okay. So for me, my ideal business builder is somebody who's hungry for more, somebody who already has success habits, people who work out, that's a success habit. People who, decorate their house really well, that's a success habit. People who homeschool their kids, that's a success habit. People who have great marriages, success habits. Look for success habits in people because they have to have a little something in order to be successful in this area, because this isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't for everyone, right? Like anyone can do this, but not everyone will. And so we're looking for the people that are, have that in them. I'm also looking for people who are self-motivated. I'm looking for people who have growth mindsets. I'll ask people on my stories, do you like personal growth? Vote on this. What books are you reading lately? Vote on this, and I am looking for them, and I let them show themselves to me. And I'm like, okay, these are the people that I want to work with, people who are positive, all of that. And so I have that. My ideal business builder, I have it. I know what they look like in my mind, right? So when I am on my stories, when I'm writing posts, when I'm in person, I'm speaking to that person. I'm not speaking to everyone. I'm not here to, maybe my ideal isn't, couples, maybe, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, like, what I'm looking for, I am talking to that person. I'm not talking to everyone. I'm talking to my ideal business builder. When you are on your stories and when you're doing your posts, you can customize your post to that person. I was talking to one of my workers on my team, and I was like, hey, why did you, just for this call, why did you join me? And she said that I spoke to like, I would talk about how when I was first starting my business, how a big component to me wanting to do the business was having this feeling inside of myself that I had untapped into gifts and talents. And I spoke about that a lot in my posts, in my stories, in my events. And she connected with that. She said, that was me. I knew I had untapped into gifts and talents. And so the more you spoke about that, the more I was like, if she did it and found that the solution to that, then I can do business with her. And she ended up coming to me and wanting to do the business with me because I spoke to that. I was really speaking to the old version of me. So what I'll say is, speak to the version of yourself from before you said yes to this opportunity. So I started my business in 2016. So I like to talk to the 2016 version of me. Where was I at? No, remember and think back. Where were you at? I was hungry for more. I was looking for something more. I was in school trying to pursue something more. I knew that there was something in me that I needed, and I knew that I needed something for myself. And so I talked to that person, and you will find those people when you're specific, right? Don't talk to everyone. Talk to the one person, because we're not looking for everyone. We're looking for the few who are really going to link arms with us and do this. Okay. Number 3, know your ideal builder's pain points. Okay. So again, think back to your pain points from the year you started. I think back to 2016. And I think about in 2016, I was on WIC. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We were budgeting super strict and saying no to a lot of things. We couldn't go on vacations. I couldn't throw my kids' birthday parties. I was pushing off. I was spending all this time budgeting, and I was pushing off oil change month after month after month. Remember that, and speak to those pain points for me. I wanted something for myself. I was just supporting my husband's dreams and not pursuing any dreams of my own. I'll speak to that version of me, that pain point, right? You got to be specific and know your ideal business builder's pain points, right? And then you talk to them. Once people feel understood is when they will buy in to what you're doing, because they know, they're like, she understands me. She understands what I'm going through. She's helped herself out of it. She can help me out of it too. I trust this person. See how that all comes together. They do need to feel understood. Okay. Number 4, demonstrate that you're focused. Okay, this is quick and easy to the point. The people that have influence with you are the people who are focused on what they're talking about. They show up, they're passionate, they know where they're going, they talk about where they're going, they're sure of where they're going. They demonstrate that they are focused, because nobody wants to hop onto the boat with somebody who does not know where they're going. I'm not hopping on a boat with no one who doesn't know exactly how to get where we're going, who doesn't have control of the wheel. I'm not hopping on. I got to know you know where you're going, and I got to know you got control of the wheel and you're taking me with you. Okay. Number 5 is, how are we doing on time? Okay. Number 5 is demonstrate your leadership. Okay. You don't have to feel like you are this amazing leader that's arrived and you know everything. Just show people, the way you show up is important. So talk confidently with enthusiasm or passionate energy, right? I'm more on the enthusiastic side. Tova, on the other hand, is more on the passionate side. Like, she knows what she's talking about. Either one of those, just passion, enthusiasm, that energy that you're putting out is what's going to draw people in. So speak confidently. It's okay. It's okay if, I won't say fake it till you make it, but kind of just be confident in the way you talk. Okay. So share another way that I like to demonstrate my leadership is I, again, share what I share how I'm growing. I share the books I'm reading. I share the podcasts I'm listening to. I share the YouTube videos I'm watching. I share the sermon that I just saw. I am a go-to in people's lives. When people want a book recommendation, they come to me and I'm a resource to them because I have demonstrated that I am always growing. And that is, leaders are learners. And that's period. That is, any good leader is a learner. Okay. Share the lessons you're learning currently. Share the, whatever you're working on, organization, discipline, time management, whatever that is. I've shared my time blocking. I've shared how I've turned myself into a morning person and what my morning routine looks like. Yes, or you can share a goal that you're working toward. Maybe it's, whatever, I'm trying to work out 3 days a week. Here's me showing up in my accountability. That demonstrates your leadership. Show up and share your direction, your vision, or your goals, whatever you have. Say, hey, I am working on, you show up and you're saying, you guys, I'm so excited because this year I am blowing it up this year in my business and you can come with me. I have room in my mentorship this month and I am confident that I can help you get there. Guess what? Even if you've never helped develop a leader, we have the resources. We have the tools. You bring the right people on, you're not supposed to spoon feed every single thing. That's why I look for people who are self-motivated, who can find their resources and things like that. That's why you speak to that person, right? So, yes, so share your goals, share your vision, share where you're going, invite people in. What I will say is make sure you open the door for people. Every month you should be on your stories. Hey, it's the beginning of December. I have room open in my December mentorship. I'm ready to mentor you and I have room for you. And that's going to plant the seed that the door is open, because people cannot walk through the door that's not opened. I have had other business builders come to me and say, hey, I want to do what you're doing, but I'm not sure if you have room. Let me know if you have room. And I was like, of course there's room. In my mind, I'm like, of course there's room. But I hadn't been opening the door publicly enough for people to realize that there was room. So open that door. And lastly, like I said, people want to follow someone who knows where they are going. So talk about where you're going. Okay. And one more thing I want to add is, when in all of this, in showing up and being focused and demonstrating your leadership and your confidence and all of that, also just make sure that you are having the good ratio of personal to plexus. It cannot be just me puking plexus all over people all day. People need to know that I'm a real person with a real life, because guess what? People don't want a life that plexus has completely taken over. People want to enjoy their life. Enjoyment is a core value of mine. I wouldn't be doing this if I couldn't really enjoy my life. And so I demonstrate that. I show myself enjoying my life, the funny things that we're up to, all of that. Also, make sure that when you're sharing your life, that you are sharing your personal self, what you have going on, what you're working on, all of that. You need to be showing you twice as much as you're showing your kids, because people aren't following. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. People aren't following your kids. People are following you. They want to see you, and they'll care about your kids the closer they get to you. I mean, my closest friends, I care about their kids because I know them and love them, but they got to know you. They have to know you and trust you and see you for them to really be interested in that. So show yourself twice as much as you show your kids. People want to see you. They care about you. So, and I think that's it. All right. I think that's it. And we'll see you guys on the Pink Power Call. Thanks for tuning in, guys.